Our mind is filled with material things, objects, people, situations. The path of Dhyan is to find an inner space which is empty, at least from the material perspective. Open up that Akash Tattva within you. To do that, we have to realize that the material world is occupying our inner space so much that there is no room to expand into the realm of the consciousness, God, whatever you call. So, as the material world takes over our inner space, our inner empty space does not seem to exist. In the form of thoughts, it is totally filled up. Little bit of patience and little bit of perseverance starts opening up that inner space. As we spend more and more time in the material world, more and more objects, more and more people, more and more situations starts becoming more and more important to us, and we keep on filling them in our mind, in our head, in our thoughts, in our sleep. It takes over us completely. Most of these things are garbage and totally unnecessary, and yet we keep on doing it. We listen to the things that we don't really need to listen. We read the things that we don't need to read. A lot of these things, we bring it in, which are totally not necessary for our day-to-day living. So analyze what things you are bringing in. What things you're bringing in that's going to make you go back to those things again. Any addictive substances, if it's going to make you think about it repeatedly, then you're again renting out your inner space to something else outside. If we cannot do without thinking about certain people because we are obsessed about them, again they are renting the space within you. So analyze all these things. Once you start realizing the inner space, you start realizing that inner space is not empty. Even if you empty out all the material objects, people, situation, inner space has its own beauty, its own joy, its own peace, grace, karuna. And this inner space is perpetual. But if the importance of the material world is more to you, then inner space takes a back seat. To expand the inner space more and more, one helpful way is to find a guru. But to find an enlightened guru in the material world nowadays is very difficult. So nature can be your best teacher, because in nature everything just expresses itself. There is no give and take, there is no jealousy, there is no hatred, there are no addictions in the nature. These are the elements, these are the processes through which human mind remains bound to the material world. Nature believes in existence. Most of the graceful things, beautiful things in life happen in silence. So spending time with the nature can teach you a lot. Observe every single flower bud that's opening up. Observe every single bird that's chirping to its fullest extent. See the innocence in them. See the grace in them. See the beauty in them. Play with the children. The younger, the better, because they have not expressed their vrittis and vasanas, greed yet. I was playing with my 1-year-old grandson. He had a toy in his mouth, salivating all over, and then he offered it to me. He wanted me to replicate the same thing. Obviously, I was afraid, and that's not my pleasure anyway. So I was hesitant to put the toy in the mouth, and so I said no. Immediately his expressions changed. So far his face was lit up with joy, playing with me, having fun. All of a sudden he became very serious. He couldn't realize why Dada would not put that toy in his mouth. And that stole the fun of playing. I could see his exchange of expressions. He was experiencing the joy of innocence at that time. So I had to make believe that I licked the toy, put it in my mouth kind of, to make him understand that. And he accepted that. Then the smile returned on his face. For him, only the play was important. Worrying about hygiene, worrying about what germs I'm going to be carrying, worrying about the etiquettes of the society. Should we put the toys in the mouth or not? All those things were immaterial. He just wanted me to play with him. Indirectly, he was saying, if you want to enter into my kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, kingdom of joy, kingdom of innocence, put your conditions away and come down to my level. And that's just play. This innocence is widespread throughout the universe. This innocence is the reflection of the silence that's within us. So to enjoy this silence, enjoy these experiences of innocence, it's very important that we weaken our grip on the sansara. Observe everything, learn a lot. Our first contact with this world of innocence can come in the form of wisdom, which requires awareness. Wisdom to understand that we are running after things which makes us keep running and running and running. Wisdom to understand that we are accumulating the objects which we're gonna give up at the end. Anyway, wisdom to understand that the time that we spend on acquiring and holding and all these things and ultimately takes us nowhere. The same time could have been easily used to enjoy this kingdom of heaven. As the Jesus said, who will be allowed in this kingdom of heaven? He picked up a child and he said, anyone who can be like this child will be allowed into the kingdom of heaven, which is full of grace, full of beauty, full of joy, and full of innocence. Explore yourself within. Give up the desires. Give up the desires to obtain objects. Give up the desires to attach yourself to addictive substances. Give up any reliance on anybody else. No one can take you anywhere except your own wisdom. Be self-reliant. Go within and find that kingdom of heaven. Have a good day.